Parent workshop at our math night tonight. Tonight we're going to explore some number sense, what number sense is and what number sense routines you might want to try at home. We're actually going to do a number sense routine or show you a couple. We're going to look at good questions to promote math thinking at home. We're also going to review some online resources. You saw the Chromebooks down in where all of our games are. Those are set up so you can see some of the online resources that we offer as a school and as a district. We're going to look at, just talk about the manipulative kits. They're also down there. You're welcome to take home a manipulative kit to help your students at home. And if you have any questions we can answer them hopefully before we finish. So we're going to start with a video this evening. Of course. Okay, we might not start with a video. Sorry, the website's actually down. All right. Well, that's disappointing.
That is disappointing.
Okay. Well, we're gonna push ahead then. Maybe we can get it to work. Yeah. But the gist of the video, I was really hoping for the video, does talk about how students view numbers, and you'll notice, and I was talking with someone earlier, how we don't really stack anymore. We do a lot of things horizontally. It forces our students to really think about the place value. It forces them to think about, oh, here we go. Mr. Skew got it. All right, we'll go here.
So, Joe Bowler,
Thank
and
you.
I'm a professor at Stanford. So what is number sense? Let's think about a problem. Let's think about 18 times 5. A student with number sense could solve this in many ways. For example, they might say, I know 20 times 5 is 100. And I know 2 times 5 is 10, and I'll take 10 away from 100, which gives me 90. We can visually represent that, and visual connections are really important for our brain. So what would that look like? If I drew 18 times 5 as a rectangle like this, we could represent 20 times 5 by saying it would be a slightly bigger rectangle, and we'd subtract this blue part. Another way to think about 18 times 5 is to say it's actually equivalent to 9 times 10. And the visual representation of 9 times 10 is kind of interesting. If our 18 times 5 rectangle looks like this, then our 9 times 10 rectangle would look like this. And that 9 times 10 rectangle has the same area as the 18 times 5 rectangle. A third way I might solve this is to say, well, I know 9 times 5 is 45, and I can do that twice to give me my 18 times 5. And that visual would look like this. There's our 18 times 5 rectangle. This time I worked out 9 times 5 and 9 times 5. And there we have those two rectangles.
Much easier equation.
A fourth way to solve this is somebody might say that they want to break up the 18 to work out 10 times 5 and then 8 times 5 and add those solutions together. And the visual of that is, if this is our 18 times 5 rectangle, then we can find our 10 times 5 and 8 times 5 rectangles, and they would look something like this. Another way, a fifth way of solving it, is not to think of 5 18s, but to break that up and to think of 2 18s are 36, and then we have another 2 18s are 36, and add on a single 18 to give us 90. And that visual looks a little different to our others. So if we have our 18 times 5 rectangle, this time we've broken up the 5 into a 2, a 2, and a 1. So we've seen 5 different methods for 18 times 5. Can you find different ways of solving 12 times 9, both numerically and visually? The variety of methods we see is part of the beauty and creativity in maths. All problems can be solved in different ways, and we should embrace that. Number flexibility, being able to work with numbers and see what they are made of and combine them in different ways, is an important part of number sense. If you'd like to see and learn more, come to Yuki.
So ultimately, what we're really getting to is that number flexibility, right? You can see just so many different ways to solve those problems. So, when we're talking about Common Core and the frustration that some of us feel as parents, right? We know that you feel that. So the reason behind some of the reason that we draw boxes and rectangles, and it's so different than what we did when we went to school, that's the reason, that's the why. because we want our students to look at numbers and be flexible and solve it multiple different ways, not memorize one rote way to do it. So that's kind of the reason that we just showed that video. That's kind of the why behind it. Okay?
Great. So we wanted to show you a couple of number sense routines. We use a lot of these routines at school. We use them at the beginning of every math class. It helps our students develop that flexibility with numbers. It helps them think differently. It helps them think mentally. Part of math is really being able to do a little bit in your head. And a fun one that we can do, especially in the primary grades, is called the sound of numbers. And I'm just going to do a very simple one with you. So if you could all close your eyes, and I just want you to listen. Okay, think about what you just heard. Keep your eyes closed. All right, a couple more. Okay, so you heard two groups of drops, or two rounds of drops. What would the sum of those two rounds of drops be? Anybody? 7. What equation would you use what equation would you attach to that?
4 plus 3.
There we go.
Yeah, anything different?
Each one, the first one dropped 4 times, and 4 times, and 3 times, and 4 times.
So that's what I heard
3
too.
times, 3 times, 3 times, 4 times.
Yeah, that's what I heard too, right? So, and that's really the power of that, especially when we get into the intermediate grades, is the discussion piece,
Yes.
right? And so that's really what we push in every classroom. One of our school improvement goals is number sense routines. So in every single classroom, pre-K through 5, there's a 10-minute number sense routine each and every day. And it comes from that dialogue. We're really trying to push our students to have dialogue about, well, this is what I got and this is why. And trying to really prove why they think that their answer is correct, and then having another student say why they think their answer is correct. So that's really what we're pushing with that number sense routine.
Another one that you could do very easily at home, besides the sound of numbers, is just a target number. And this is literally just putting a number on a piece of paper and asking your student how many ways can you make this number. They can draw it, they can do equations, they can just draw a really cool picture that somehow represents that number. And that's we don't send a lot of math homework home at Hilltop, but that's something you could do mathematically at home. They could read a book for 20 minutes and they could do a target number. And depending on their grade level, you could change that number and make it a little bit more difficult for the student. So the other thing we wanted to talk about is questioning. Our teachers ask a lot of questions. We're moving away from ever telling a student how to solve a math problem. It's more, thank you. It's more, how did you get there? How could you do it differently? Why did you do it that way? And that's something you could do at home as well. Something I do with my kids. My son and I love to watch basketball together. But I sit there and I talk to him the entire time. What's the difference in the score between the two teams right now? If it's 72 to 74, what's the difference? And he figures out, there's 2. That's a huge one, especially in second grade. Our second graders have so much trouble with the difference between 2 numbers. How many more, how many less? If you could use that language at home, it'd be super helpful for your first, second, and third graders, especially.
Even going into intermediate, especially, I think, we talked about lack of homework, right? And some of us feel frustration that there's no homework. This would do more for math number sense than any worksheet that can be sent home. Having this dialogue daily will increase the students' flexibility with numbers and comfortability with math overall. So that's just kind of some of the things that we suggest.
Other things you could talk about, what if they score this many more? You could also talk about salary if you wanted to, get into some bigger numbers, especially these days. Out shopping, counting the change, finding the difference in price between two products. What if I bought 3 of these? Do some multiplication. So there's just some ways, some fun ways, engaging ways, and relevant ways for your students to talk about numbers and math. So if you go to this website, and we have the yellow sheets down by the Chromebooks in the room, so don't worry about writing this down. But this is our Hilltop Math Help site. We have tons of cool resources. This PowerPoint is there for you. If you click on Math Night, I'm going to post this video as well, so you can show all your friends. But we also have photographs at the end. Yeah. But we have Dreambox All of our students have Dreambox accounts. All of our 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders have First and Math accounts. 2 great online resources that they can play at home, and they play them in school. They should know how. If they don't, just contact your child's teacher, and they'll get you a letter or the login information. Another one is bedtime math. Bedtime math is just very simple. You go to bedtimemath.com, you put your email address in, and every day they send you a new problem around 4:30. Yes?
She's having problems with the Dreambox. She logs in, and sometimes they only do a little bit, and then after that they ask you that you need to pay for more.
Okay, I'll get you a letter that they can log into their school account. You don't have to pay for anything. So I can get that for you. But bedtime math, yes, it just gives you a new problem every day. It's tiered for little kids, middle kids, and big kids. And then also, don't forget, we have manipulative kits for you to take home. We have base 10 blocks, number charts, number lines. We have counters with 10 frames that our primary students use. If you have any questions about those, please ask us before you leave this evening. Mr. Skill, did I forget anything?
No, just with those manipulative kits, those are great things to use when the homework does come home, and it's usually going to reference some of those things. So now you're going to have some of those tools at home to work with what your students are seeing in the classroom. Again, we talked about it earlier, where our students are learning math way differently than how we learned, right? So it's always hands-on. There's manipulatives in front of our students every single day in the classroom. Those kits are designed to just be able to have a little bit better transition to what they're doing at home. So please make sure you take those. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to myself or Mr. Towers.
And everything is on our website, hilltopstars.org. You can click and you can get to our math help site and lots of other things. And you can always reach us by going to hilltopstars.org as well.
Just a caveat on that.
Yes.
On assessments as well, students are able to access manipulatives as well. So it's not just they're learning this way, but they're going to get to the assessment and then they're not going to know how to do it. They legitimately have the resources there and are able to use it in a hands-on way throughout assessments. And they have online manipulatives to use during their park assessments and statewide testing.
Yep.
So that's not something that we scale back on. This is something that we're really encouraging. It's not, oh, well, you need the counters this time, and, oh, well, you're past that. You shouldn't need them. It's really a tool for them to use to get better.
And what age, grade can they start using those websites?
Our
Box is K to 5.
pre-K. Our pre-K students have that as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
First in math is 3 to 5.
yep. So this is our math help site, just so you're familiar with it. And one thing that we were talking about, if you don't have, if you use your phone a lot, we even have a spot for math on your phone. These are free apps you can download to do on your phone. And we also have tools. We were talking about online tools. These are all online manipulatives that are very similar to the real ones we use in classrooms and the ones you can take home this evening. And if you click on Math Night, everything is here that we talked about. U Cubed was where that video came from. There's lots more videos for parents like that as well. So it's all there. Yes?
The list of math apps, is it just on the site or is it on the paper?
It's the paper has our site that you can get to, and then everything's there.
Okay.
Yep. So if you have any other questions, we can stick around. If you would like to go back and play some more games, feel free, and we'll have dinner around 6:25, 6:30. Are there any questions for the kind of the good of the group? Yes.
It's not for the good of the group. It's,
Okay.
How high does Dreambox go? You said it starts.
I believe you can go up through 8th grade.
Okay.
Yes, 8th grade standards with Dreambox. Yes. Another question?
All the applications are free for the phone?
Yes, everything on this site is free. Yeah, I didn't do anything pay.
And if it gets to a place where it says to pay, then contact us.
Let us know.
The letter with our login school information.
Yes. If you need Dreambox information, just see us down. I'll go print some out, and I'll bring some down. Do you have a question?
You made a statement earlier that there's less homework, math homework. Is that...
A lot of we've kind of gone away from a lot of homework. Our teachers may send home a problem a day, or
Why is it going down?
we've just found that it's not really it's not really benefiting our students as much as we thought in the past. They're getting more here at school. We found that just reading at home, what we talked about, just having the language, a little bit of homework will come home just so you get an idea of what we're doing. But we found some students are maybe practicing it wrong at home, so that does not benefit them at school. So we've just kind of made a decision as a school not to send home as much. If you do get a piece of homework, it will have an explanation of how to do the problem. attached to the homework. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
Might be a stupid question.
No.
No. I see everything for the iPhones and iPads. Are all of these available for Android as well?
Some of them are. Yeah. Dreambox is not, unfortunately. Dreambox is only for iPhones and iPads. I hopefully they're working on that.
Or computers.
Or a computer. Chromebooks. If Chromebooks have gone way down in price, you can get a Chromebook for less than $200 now. That would work at really well for anything that we put up here. Yes. Any other good questions? That was good. Thank you. Okay. Well, thank you. We really appreciate you coming. We appreciate the questions. Please, we're here for the rest of the night, so let us know if you need anything.